Hi guys, Erin here with Friday the 13ers. I'm answering a truth today, not a dare, but I thought it was going to be easier to handle it via vlog just because it's kind of a complex answer. Alyssa had asked what I would like to see on my book cover, and then if there was something I didn't like about that cover, how would I address that? Would I say something? What would I do? So I'm going to answer this question in two parts. Part one, what do I want to see on my book cover? This is an interesting question. I think everyone sort of has dreams and thinks about what they want to see on a cover, and especially for me, by trade, I'm a designer. That's my day job. But small detail here, I design websites, not book covers, and I think that that's going to come into play when I answer part two, so just keep that in mind. But going back to what I want to see on my cover, I actually have already seen my cover. I've seen the final cover, and I really want to share it with you guys, but I can't. It's top secret for a while. But before I'd seen it, I'd had a conversation with my editor about what sort of things I like on book covers, what appeals to me, and I sort of gave her an idea. I didn't really know what I wanted to see per se on my cover. Like, I didn't have a distinct image, but I knew the feeling that I wanted the cover to have. I shared some of those things with her, and in the end, I really love my book cover, but it's not what I would have done. And I think this kind of comes into part two with me being a designer for websites and not book covers. But it's a really good thing. I had really no actual involvement in the designing of the cover, because if I had, my book cover would have been probably really minimal or abstract and bold typography. I mean, my cover would have looked like this. Yeah, and I think like 90% of those covers that I just showed you, I think those are adult fiction. So this kind of goes into part two of the question, is what would you do if the cover that you saw wasn't what you were expecting, or if you didn't like it? In my case, I did love it, but let me answer this part of the question. And this is where publishers really come into play. They have internally their teams of marketing, their designers. They know this audience. They know what they're doing. They are the experts. I might be an expert at web design. They are the experts at book cover design. And again, that's why the ball is in their court, and I trust them completely. The goal, I've always kind of thought of book covers in the sense that the book cover is the equivalent of a window display. So when you are browsing at the bookstore, when you're walking through the shelves and you're looking at those covers that are faced out, that's the equivalent of window shopping. When you're walking along the street and you're looking in and seeing what's on display, and if something catches your eye, maybe you pick up that book, or again, the equivalent, go into the store. So really, the team that's designing this book, they are trying to be true to your book and evoke certain feels. That conversation I had with my editor about what sort of mood I wanted to portray, all of that went into their design. Everything else they did in mind of the audience, of teens, of the boys and girls that this sort of book would appeal to. So what they've done is put something together that hopefully will get people to pick the book up off the shelf and flip through it and then buy it. And that's really, again, that's the big goal. That book cover, they're gorgeous, but they're also advertising. One more thing on part two of the question of what would you do if you didn't like things. Overall, I loved my cover. I am so happy with the direction that Harper Teen taken, and I cannot wait to share it with you guys. But there were a couple things that I wasn't 100% on. I thought maybe they could be tweaked a little, or maybe there was a different way to portray certain things. This is so vague, I'm sorry, because I can't say anything else. But basically what I did was have a very honest conversation with my editor about one thing I was unsure about, and telling her how much I loved everything else. And she took that feedback back to the team, and they decided, hey, is this something, knowing the target audience of teens, knowing that we still want people to pick this up, is this something we could tweak and still have it do all of the things we want to do? Is it still going to be a successful piece? And a successful cover that's going to capture attention? And the answer in the end was yes. They ended up tweaking something for me, and now I'm just in love with it even more. So I hope that answers things. I hope that sort of also gives you a glimpse of the cover design process and why authors are involved at a more minimal level, because really we're the experts at writing the story. And the publishers, the teams they have in-house, they are the experts at knowing what's going to sell and what's going to get people to pick up your book. Thanks again, guys, for stopping by. maybe leave us some more truths and dares so we can answer some more stuff next week. And thanks.